Hi guys, welcome. Today I'd like to talk about proof of address. A lot of time I've said Anmeldebestätigung. A lot of time I said that word, Anmeldebestätigung, and most of all of my viewers, many of my viewers ask me, what the hell is that Anmeldebestätigung? What the fuck is it? I've got the answer. So, Anmeldebestätigung is an official document which confirm your address, and that's very simple. But no. Okay, I will try to say it in a super simple way. But if you arrive in some place, you rent a room, you rent an apartment, you rent a house, you go to some student campus, someplace like that, something which is not a hotel or a motel. So it is not a bed and breakfast, it is not a hotel, it's not an Airbnb, it's commonly a rented room or a rented apartment or a rented house. You have 7 or 14 days to register in a local office. It's really local administration. It's really simple. In some German states you have 7 days. In some states it's 14 days. But it's not less than 7 days to make a registration. You need to go to a local administration, to that office, and and that office is called Meldestelle, and it's probably in most places it is in Rathaus, in the main local administration building in Rathaus. In that building you make many things with administration, but there is also Meldestelle. There also can be Führerscheinstelle, which is an office for driver license. It can be Fahrzeugstelle, which is an office for car registration. It can be also many other things, like you can order a Ausweis, you can order a Reisepass, you can order many things. Ausweis means ID card for German citizens, and Reisepass means passport for German citizens. But at that time, that's the most important for you. It is that you need to register your address in Meldestelle. And that's each time you change your place where you live. You change room, change apartment, change house. You need to go to the your local administration, commonly in Rathaus, and register it. You will need to fill a special form which is called Anmeldeformular. You need to fill it. Then you have to fill your first name, last name, your date of birth, place of birth, your ID number. It can be your foreign passport, your passport. It can be your passport, or it can be your ID card. But it's better to use passport. Number of your passport, date of issue, and many other things. Your religion, and an address where you live. And you have to sign it. When you will sign it, you give it with your document, ID or passport, or with your passport, to a employee of the institution, to that person, and you will receive your ID, of course, and you will receive Anmeldebestätigung in one copy. And that Anmeldebestätigung is exactly a proof of address. That's a proof that your address is registered, that an Anmeldung procedure was filled and was completed correctly. That's really simple, and you will submit that document. If you are not a German citizen, that's a good idea to make 1 million copy of that document. 1 million copy. Original, keep it in a safe place, but make 1 million copy, because you will need that in many places. Because there are places in Germany where you don't need address. For example, if you will go to a club, you don't need any address. You only need ID to prove your age, and it can be any government issued ID, for example passport, ID card or driver license. But in some place you will need to tell your address, but you don't have to prove. For example, if you want to buy use phone, prepaid, buy and use prepaid SIM card to your phone, or you want to use some card for points, like payback, like Deutschland card for netto, like that card, I don't remember, subway, the subway card, or many others card for points. You will decide for that card, but when you will register that card on the website, you will need to fill your address, and it has to be an address in Germany, but you don't have to prove that address. But there are some places when you will need a proof of address. For example, if you want to buy a phone with a contract SIM card and pay monthly. If you will want to open a bank account, because most banks in Germany will you will need to show in that in branch your Anmeldebestätigung ID and Anmeldebestätigung, and many other places. For example, administration, when you will want to be naturalized, you will want to be a German citizen, you will need to prove how long do you live. You need to live for at least 8 years if you don't have any family members like parents or grandparents who are citizens. You will need to prove how long you live. With Anmeldebestätigung is much easier, and in many other situations, many other places, you will need to show Anmeldebestätigung. It can be a copy. You can make a copy on a copy machine, some photocopy. You will then use photocopy, so you can have a photo of that document on your phone to show it. Just sometimes you need to show that you live in a city, and if you have Anmeldebestätigung, it's really easier. But is it only in Germany? No. There are many countries, especially in Europe, where you have to register where you live, and you have to register when you start living there. So you make Anmeldung, and when you finished, you leave that place, you need to make Abmeldung, which is ending of that period. That's another formula for Abmeldung. But the other thing, if you change a place from one to another, you don't need to make Anmeldung, Abmeldung, and new Anmeldung, because if you make a new Anmeldung, you can select to delete the old record, this registration, older registration, and place your new address as a first. You can place your new address as a second, and you can also place your address, that address as a first and that old as a second. So there's many things you can just do this, and new Anmeldung replace the older one. So that's really simple. But sometimes there's a problem. For example, you know that you should have Anmeldebestätigung because it's really necessary, and you know that you can't register your address because you rent a room or an apartment from a person who said that you can't register that address. That's a problem. You can make Anmeldung. That's a problem because you need this, but you can't. Of course, legally, no one can say that you can't, because in that situation it will be against the law. But sometimes, if you will make Anmeldung when your owner of your apartment say that you can do this, you can say, sorry, go away, I don't want to rent you that room. I said that you can't make Anmeldung, you made it, so sorry, go away. And what you will do? Nothing. So sometimes there's a problem, and sometimes you live with your friends, you live in some place, in a hotel. Sometimes there are places that you can't register that address, but you need that Anmeldebestätigung. What you can do? I will tell you. In official way, legally, you can do almost anything. But that's I think what people do just to help them, because Anmeldebestätigung is really important document. they choose a place. They know where they can go to which city to register. Because of course you don't go to the another end of Germany to register. But in your city or another city, you choose some place. You look on a Google Maps and look for a place where it's a normal residential area. Because you can't register in a hotel, you can't register in some production area, in some place where there are only factories. You need to choose a place where it's possible to live for a people. Some house, home, smaller, bigger, something like that. When you find that place, you write address, you check where is the local Anmeldebestätigung, this office of the government when you make that procedure. You fill the local formular, write that address, and in many times they will not ask you for a contract and for a rental. That contract I think there are many situations when you will not be asked for a rental contract, for a contract that you rented a room or house or apartment. You can be asked. You can always say that you forgive it, that I didn't remember about that, so sorry. I will take it. I will take it from home. I will left it at home. I will take it. And I will go back tomorrow with the documents. I didn't know. But in many times you will not be asked, and you can register. It's not as 100% legal way, but it's not a big crime. And of course, nobody will say that you should do this, and I will not tell you that you should do this. I will not tell you, but I know that many people do this because sometimes it's better to have some fake address in Anmeldebestätigung and live in another place, or don't have Anmeldebestätigung at all. So that's important. That's very important document, and I think that's the reason that people sometimes do that, some type of mystification. But the next thing is, can you live without Anmeldebestätigung? Yes, you can live in Germany without Anmeldebestätigung, but your life will be a little bit more complicated. The next thing is that when you register in Germany for the first time and you didn't live in Germany never before, you'll get a Steuernummer, and that Steuernummer is a special number. Steuernummer is a special number. So it's Steuernummer is exactly your German social security. It's your German social security number, and that number you will need to use in many official forms. So you will receive that number. If you will not receive after a few days on that address, you can always go to a Finanzamt and ask for your Steuernummer, which is your German social security. The next thing is that you will receive something called Steuerklasse, which is some kind of that is a tax class, and it means to which class of taxation you are added. And if you don't have a Steuernummer, which is social security, you will be on a higher class and you will pay too big tax, like for people who earn a lot of money and have big salaries. But when you start your first job, you will be classified to a lower tax class and you will pay less tax, and that's very important. That's very important. But to be classified to the lower tax class, you need Steuernummer. To that Steuernummer, you need Anmeldebestätigung, because you need to be registered in that registry for the first time in Germany. So it can be done in another way. So that's so important, because without first Anmeldebestätigung you will not receive Steuernummer, and without Steuernummer you will be in too big too high Steuerklasse, which means you will pay too big tax, and that's very, very important because it's a lot of money, and that's your money. And I think that's all about the Anmeldebestätigung. When you have Anmeldebestätigung, if you are a German citizen, you don't have to take that Anmeldebestätigung with you all the time. If you are not a German citizen, I recommend you to have a copy of Anmeldebestätigung in your wallet, or in your passport, or in some place in your bag. Just make a million copy and have one copy with you. Sometimes you don't know when you will need to show it. Sometimes you will want to go to some place where there will be some discounts for residents, for the people who live in that city, and you will need to prove that you live in that city. Anmeldebestätigung will be the easiest way to prove that, because that's government issue certificate that you live in that you registered in some place, that your address is official. So that's all about Anmeldebestätigung, and that's all. And that's the reason that sometimes I say that you need Anmeldebestätigung for something, or you don't need Anmeldebestätigung for something. So that's so simple. I hope it was really, really helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!